Hello, friends. Hello. Welcome to the Rockaway Point Shadow Walk. I am here standing in the Great Plains. What is it? The Great Prairie. And it is a bright, sunny day today where I'm at. So I have seen my shadow. Thank heavens. That means an early spring weather is coming to my location, which is great because even though the sun is out today, it is, I don't even know, negative 10 degrees with a negative 31 wind chill. But I just have to hopefully endure for a couple more days. And then it looks like, according to the forecast heading out for the next couple of weeks, that at least the highs will be in the 20s, positive 20s and 30s Fahrenheit, which will be like I can finally take my coat off and just walk around outside without wearing so many layers. And then hopefully snow will start to melt. So very excited about that. So with that in mind, I am remote connecting in to our friends at the Rockaway Point Lighthouse. And we're going to connect in with our girl about town, Heather Happenstance, as she is covering the shadow walk there. So let's go in and connect in with her. Heather, are you there? Can you hear us? Oh, hello. Hello, it's great to be here. I'm here at the shadow walk. And I have to say, everybody's out. It's a great turnout. The emerald buns are just delicious. Abigail's Smile did a wonderful job sponsoring this event, and the official mascot of today's event, the being that we'll look to see too if they saw their shadow or not, is Harry the Turtle. Harry the Turtle comes out every year at this time at the Rockaway Point Shadow Walk here at the lighthouse, and we are going to just place him down and see if he sees his shadow. We would love to have an early spring here as well. It's been quite blustery here on the northern coast of Rockaway Point, and we would love to have an early spring weather. So here we go. We've got Abigail Smile and the mayor of Rockaway Point, Mr. Harry Tappensworth. Mr. Harry Tappensworth is taking Harry, they have named after each other, Harry the Turtle, out of his protective enclosure. And we're going to place him down on the ground. And what do we see? Hurrah! Harry has seen his shadow. We are going to have early spring weather here at Rockaway Point as well. So I am going to continue to enjoy the festivities of this shadow walk as we take a little town parade around. We're going to have all of our small businesses engaged in the parade, so you can come and join us for refreshments, fun, and community here at the lighthouse as we celebrate this early spring weather arriving. And now it's back to you, TLC. All right, yes. So finally, both places are lovely Rockaway Point, which hopefully means Tessellock also will be having this early spring weather. Since they're sister cities and they are right next to each other, then I would assume the sun is out there, but maybe we should connect in with them later and see the results of their shadow ceremonies. But for now, I'm going to bask in the sunshine of this day, even if it's through the window. If we could get out for a little bit. I do have to get out for a little bit, a few more times. So we will just bask in the fact that the warm weather is coming early and leave it at that. All right, my friends, now on to the next part of our show, the February Energies Update. Hello, friends. Hello, and welcome to this February Energies Update. I want to thank you all for joining me here, whether you're new to this space and this place or whether you're returning. I want to welcome you in. Everyone is welcome here. And whether you're watching the actual video on YouTube or you're listening to the audio through your podcast provider, we'll try to make sure we have something for everyone, that it's not just all centered around visuals, because it's really not. A lot of it is some chatting with you, my friends. And I have with me here, I just made her hair really crazy, Valentina. She's not a troll, she's in something else. She's not a troll doll, but she has that troll doll, that profile. She is our little mascot for February. And for those of you that are just listening, like on a podcast provider, a lot of these behind the scenes things I share on my Instagram, so you can follow me there. All the links to everything I talk about in every show are always in the show notes, always in the description box. I figure you guys know how to find these things. She just cracks me up. So got her hair really crazy right now. Or you can shake her and make her hair super crazy. So this is our self-love mascot for the month of February. And as you heard in the intro to this show, we did the Rockaway Point Shadow Walk. I also did my own little quick shadow thing outside, shadow ceremony outside. Was it super cold here? And I saw my shadow. The folks in Rockaway Point saw their shadow. So that means we get an early spring weather coming to these parts in the Northern Hemisphere. So I'm really, really excited about that. And this month really is all about self-love and self-care. So before I get into any diatribes or anything, let's go ahead and just wrap us all in love light and light love. Inviting in the guides who overlight this show, Archangel Michael, Archangel Metatron, the Pleiadians, the energies of Lemuria, New Lemuria, and any of my other guides who would like to pop into the show to help deliver messages of motivation and support to our TLC for the Soul community members. Here's what we're going to do today. This month we are going to be working with, as a workbook, my nonfiction book, Eat Like a Lemurian. It is a channeled book. And we're going to be just pulling out an excerpt of it here for you all to, for all of us to engage with the teaching that's going to come through. This book was written with the spirits of the Lemurians and the Pleiadians. And as always, all of my ebooks are free to read. So on the screen, if you're watching, I'm just showing like my Smashwords page. I can never say it. Smashwords page. The link to all of my ebooks is in the show notes. If you can't see this, if you're just listening, you can go down to like read my ebooks or whatever and just click on Smashwords. Or you can go to Apple Books or Google Books or Barnes & Noble, the same thing, and download a free copy there. We are going to let the guides have us intuitively pick a selection from this book. Sorry, I'm pausing because I'm reading. Lemuria is calling. So our whole overarching theme of, I guess it is Lemuria is calling, our whole overarching theme of the year is New Lemuria, and we are still working in the, I'm showing, but I've made a playlist in YouTube and on Spotify called 2023. And so if you missed any of the 2023 shows, we had the 2023 themes show where I went into great detail about the quarter by quarter themes of this 2023. But the overarching one was kind of like it's New Lemuria now and the Garden of Eden Reborn for this year in terms of the energetics and things that are going on. So I won't go into that too much. And then we did a month by month card reading to expand on the energies of that. So all those readings, all those shows are in the 2023 playlist for you to catch there. And if you're not on either of those platforms, then you can just scroll a little bit in the podcast and you can find those shows. They're not too far back there, maybe 3 or 4 back. All right, so let's take a look then. We are still in the first quarter of the 2023 themes, and the guides gave us the themes by song titles. And for January and February and March, it was an instrumental called Anybody There by the band Rainbow, like an old band. A lot of these were like old bands that came up. But it was a very heart-opening instrumental musical piece by that band. And for the month by month energies, I think we got that, yes, I'm looking back at that now. We got a lot of things happening with the heart chakra for this first quarter of the year. A lot of opening up of the sacred heart, the higher heart, a lot of healing being done in the higher heart, a lot of dragon fire coming in to support us. So I'm showing, but I'm going to read as well, the February key themes that came up for February were Serpent Rising, Dragon Fire, Imulk was one, but so we had a lot of dragon energy coming in again in February, as we did in January, to help clear the way. So if you work with dragons, which many of you here that listen are dragon keepers, dragon guardians, dragon flame warriors. I mean, there's so many different types of you all, just like there are of the spirits that you work with. But the other thing that we wrote down for February was can't see the full picture yet. So I am recording this on February 2nd. We just did the shadow walk, the Rockaway Point shadow walk. Rockaway Point, their mascot, Harry the turtle, saw his shadow. We saw our shadow here in the Great Plains. What the heck is it called? It's not the Great Plains. It's whatever North Dakota is. Midwestern Prairie, whatever. Who cares, right? But a lot, and I wrote Serpent Rising twice. So we are aligning with our folks on the other side of the world who are, we have Imulk, and they had, is it Lunasa, which is first harvest at this same time. So I think things are starting to show themselves slowly but surely, but the bigger things, not so much so yet. And there is a full moon in Leo this coming Sunday, and I was already today kind of starting to feel some of those. For me, what happens when and I don't know, maybe this happens to you too, but as soon as like 2 or 3 days before the full moon gets here, I start getting that card in my deck that's kind of like, everything's not as it seems, illusions surround you, wait for the energies to pass. And because I think today, my February calendar, no, tomorrow, we had lunar energy spikes starting tomorrow, but I'm really starting to feel it today. So starting February 3rd, and I don't know when you're going to listen to this. You may listen to this after all these dates, and then in retrospect, you could be like, oh, that's what was happening. But this month, we want to be here. All of us here at TLC for the Soul, all the guides, we want to be here to support you on your journey. And so we're offering up these offerings to help you through this month, because what's happening here with this can't see the whole picture yet is the doubts and the insecurities start to come up about the bigger things that you're manifesting. So I was doing really great yesterday. I really wasn't focused on anything at all about any of those things. And then this morning I woke up and I'm like, is this just all a mistake? I really started to feel that, like, is what I'm doing just, should I just like, I don't get this a lot. I get this periodically. Like, should I just give up and just walk away from all of this? And then I'm like, no, I'm not going to settle. I keep seeing these things, like, don't settle. So if I'm seeing them and I'm sharing them with you, these are messages for you too about, like, don't settle for second best in anything, whether it's relationships, whether it's your career, whether it's, whatever areas of your life. Don't settle is a big message that's coming up. And we haven't even pulled any cards yet or gotten the book out, like a Lemurian book out yet. But these are the things that are just coming up before I get to any of that. Like, don't settle. So I was like, maybe I just need to like start over and do something else. And I was like, no, this is my passion. I'm going to keep doing it. regardless of the results that I'm seeing on the outside, regardless of what I'm seeing in the 3D, there are times when you should heed guidance to give up and walk away from something, or leave something behind and walk away from it. And then there's other times when you receive very, very clear guidance to just keep going, that you're learning lessons about perseverance and faith and trust. And there could be some karma you're having to repay. There could be some other things involved. There's many layers to what could be happening in your situation. So you have to trust the guidance that you're getting. But if it's living your passions and you are living them and you're still not really seeing your manifestations come through, there could be underlying, you could, just like our little, just like our thing for February says, you still can't see the full picture yet. So your guides and source know what's going on, things that you can't see, things that maybe you could be like, this is an illusion that, so illusions start coming up, like doubts and insecurities and other things, even though things really, and it's the perfect, it's actually the perfect metaphor for this time of year, especially in the Northern Hemisphere, this Imbolc thing, and even for the folks that are going through first harvest. And Lunesta is like, some of your stuff's manifesting, but maybe some of your stuff isn't yet, because it's only first harvest, or for us here in the Northern Hemisphere, things are only just starting to thaw now. Outside, like the ice is starting to just melt, but like there's still 100 feet of snow on the ground. It's not melted yet. And slowly, hopefully, over this month, as the temperature warms, the snow starts melting. And maybe that is a metaphor for the things that are not seen yet, that are hidden below the surface, just like the plants and the flowers, like our little, I'm showing like some beautiful, they're fake, but like some little roses. They're so pretty, like some little spring flowers here. So rather than like totally freak out, because I'm getting really good. I'm getting really much better with the self-mastery. So I didn't freak out as soon as those thoughts came up about maybe I should just like chuck all this whole manifestation thing that I'm working on into the wind, just forget it. And I was like, but no, I want to do this. Why would I just like, why would I settle for something second best? Why would I go do something else that I don't want to do? Why would you do that? So it's really a good time for a little full moon ritual. One where you write down like all your maybe fears or self-doubts or illusions that are coming up for you, and somehow burn that or dispose of that or whatever. So just know those things could be coming up early this month to be dealt with. And it all goes with this theme of self-love for this month. Is like, love yourself enough to know that you are on the right path, that if you're living your passions and you're doing the things you really love to do, that nothing's in vain, so to speak. Nothing's being done in vain. Everything's happening for a reason, either to teach you something or to move you forward towards things that you can't necessarily see yet. So let me just take a pause here. Let's just clear our energy, because I want you to listen to what's coming up here. Or you should be listening to this whole show with like your master senses, like we always say at the beginning, with your inviting your guides in to help unplug. I was going to say unclog. Oh, please don't let me have another plumbing clog. Unclog. These maybe it's emotions. Yeah, maybe it's emotions that need to unplug and unclog. Because when I started having those feelings of like self-doubt and stuff, I was like, oh, just let me kind of acknowledge them and like stuff them back down. And I was like, stuff them down in there. And I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. I want to acknowledge that they're there. I don't need to spend like hours and hours and days working on them. I just need to do something to eradicate or disintegrate those. All right. So before we go any further, I've got the Buddha bowl. At the Buddha bowl, and we're just going to take a couple, oh, he's so dusty. I'm going to take a couple of deep breaths together just to get centered as we bring in these other messages. So let's go ahead and just do a little bit of energy clearing here since this is a monthly video. Let's get us in the right frame of mind for the month. So let's take a deep breath. Hold. Release, exhale. Take a deep breath in. Hold. Exhale. Take a deep breath in. Hold. Exhale. I want you to be aware of your heart space, your heart center. Feel the love within your heart. Just breathing normally. And raise that love within your heart. Think of something or someone or somebody or somewhere that you love deeply. See that in front of you, and then raise that loving energy, that feeling. Raise it up to your throat, to the middle of your head. Raise it up to the crown. And see a big, giant golden heart sitting on top of your crown. Let's take another deep breath from our heart space, our loving heart, up, and into that golden heart on top of your crown. And let's stay in that energy of receptivity, divine love, peace, guidance, divine knowing. Calling in our angels and guides to sit with us and soothe us, soothe our souls. Let's be receptive and open to these messages. All right. So I'm going to pick up Eat Like a Lemurian. And I'm going to just read the summary of what the book is about. So you have the gist of that, and then we'll intuitively pick a passage from the book. And you can, this workbook is meant to be worked with. It's not a quick one. I think the exercises and things in the book span a period of like 18 months to 2 years of working with this book in terms of the spiritual growth and development that is being offered here from the Lemurians and the Pleiadians. So it's not, you may want to just pick something and focus on that. So we'll get to that in just a second. And then we're going to draw cards from Pleiadian Power and Loveland Spring Pack to close this out and see if there's anything else. There may be some light language transmission here at the end. So the synopsis of the book is, in a land far away in the past, a group of people lived a light-filled and mainly carefree life. This land calls to your soul, and the people of Lemuria call to your heart. We are here to guide you to your own magic-filled life through the remembering of that life so long ago. Join us for healing energy and a practice of living that will enlighten your heart and mind. Lemuria was not just an ancient space on our planet. If Lemuria calls to you, then you must answer the calling. This book provides key wisdom and knowledge of an ancient people who learned how to live with peace and prosperity. Through a set of rememberings and daily practices and protocols, you can harness the power and peace of this time so long ago. Guides of Lemuria and Telos step forward to share their daily practices with you. It is in this sharing that they promise you the same rewards. In following these protocols, the Lemurians and Telosians, who live etherically under Mount Shasta, want to gift you with the knowing of the same type of peaceful existence you might recall from your own time in these lands. Join us for a prose of delight and knowledge to help you enhance your own magical life. Lemuria is calling. Will you answer? So again, this is the EPUB, or not EPUB, but like the ebook version of this book is free to read. Let me just see. They want me to just hold on for a second. So for February, it's a month of romance, self-love, self-care, self-mastery for you. That doesn't mean you're not working towards goals of, other things right now that are equally important. But right now, I just keep hearing Esther Hicks saying you're getting ready to be ready to be ready. Physically, etherically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, possibly financially. You're getting ready to be ready for something more that's coming up towards the summertime, it sounds like. So bigger things manifesting in the summertime. And so now is the month to really double down deep in your self-care and your self-love rituals, whatever that could be. So I'll just share, like for me, here's what I'm going to be working towards. From November, December, January were very harrowing for me in terms of working with the weather, not working with the energy, working with the weather here and trying to surrender to these weather extremes. Growing up and living the majority of my life in South Texas and California, like this was just beyond for me. It was a very, very challenging time. And I think even though I was doing energy clearing every day, I think I was overcompensating. Like it's winter too, right? I was like overcompensating a little bit in the eating department. And I started realizing like I can't fit into my ski pants anymore. I'm gonna have to have a bigger size. I bought a bigger size for my son, and I was like, I can't fit into those ski pants anymore. I'll just wear his, right? So it's kind of like putting it off until I had to. I had a belt. The belt that I walked my dog with broke at the park. It was crazy, and the dog was off chasing a car, and she's very, oh my gosh, I don't even want to go there. But so I had to buy I bought a new type of belt. So I string her leash on it so it can be more hands-free. So I bought this really heavy duty, like weightlifting belt to string the handle of her leash onto. I'm like, you're not getting out of this. But I had to measure my waist for the belt. And when I got the tape measure out and pulled it, I was like, oh my God, my waist has never been this big in my whole entire life. And so this month I have to recommit to not so much, I don't want to call it dieting, but I have to just be more mindful about how much I wasn't even eating a lot. I think I was just like using a lot of olive oil, that kind of stuff. And at night I would have this gigantic bowl of cereal that was probably at least 500 calories because it was like all these anyway. So I was like overcompensating by like filling up. But winter's starting to fade away now and spring is coming and it's time, you want to wear all your fun stuff and all that. I don't know, guys, do you want to wear all your fun, stuff? And so it's just time to get back into a better routine. So, I never quit my exercising routine, but I couldn't walk outside as much because there's really not a lot to walk. There's so much freaking snow, like all the trails were packed. So I've started my running routine again, and as soon as the ice melts, I want to start my cycling again. So all of that. So extra movement, less intake, and that's so getting those measurements down, so fitting back into clothes comfortably again. That is my goal for February. It's not going to take just February. It's probably going to take a little while, at least 3 months or so, to really see good results. So you're going to have to stick with whatever you start with now. So that's what I'm doing. Maybe I'll post some of the behind the scenes of my journey there on my Instagram. I don't want to talk about it too much here, but maybe stuff like that's coming up for you guys. Like your focus is being pulled away a little bit from some of the other things you're trying to manifest so that you can take care of yourself. So that you can have more energy, more stamina, more strength, more power. You may be guided to, go back to the gym or get outside and move your body more. It doesn't have to be running or cycling or anything, but I like to do all that. I like to feel strong. So I do like a lot of strength stuff. a lot of, not power yoga, but a lot of yoga, all of that, because I want to feel strong in my body. You know, I am not like a young, I'm not a young girl anymore. Even when I was a young girl, right? I'm diatribing. But even when I was a young girl, I wanted to do like bodybuilding and stuff like that. All right, so let's go to Eat Like a Lemurian. Let's see where, let me see where they want me to start. Where do you guys want me to start? We don't need to talk about what is Lemuria. Which one? Crystals? Hold on. All right, let me just, because I don't know which one to read. Let me just let them pick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so it is kind of what I was thinking. So they want me to start with chapter 3, which is Lemurian sun and moon practices. Now I'm going to read a little bit about I'm going to read it just a little bit of this chapter. It's 2 pages long, but this book has quite a few different protocols. I really invite you to check it out. It is very rich. And let me tell you, I didn't come from, I mean, maybe it did come from inner knowing, but it was all channeled. I just let the guides speak through me. And I do know there's some of you that are following these protocols and have had really upbeat things to share about how they are working with you in your life and how they are helping to mold and uplift you and change your life. So this is chapter 3, Lemurian sun and moon practices. As you move about your day, you most likely have not considered how the sun and moon play into your everyday routines and activities. But in ancient Mu, which is the other word that's used for Lemuria, the inhabitants of the islands were well versed in the art of watching and honoring the sun and moon as it moved through the night and day skies, as well as how it appeared and reacted during the various seasons. A Lemurian held great regard for both the sun and moon and the interactions that these two consciousnesses had to do with the greater solar system and planetary alignments. Lemurians, along with their Pleiadian relatives, had a vast knowledge of astrology, astronomy, and quantum physics, and knew how to work with the planetary grids and gateways necessary for the enlightenment of others around the globe. Unfortunately, this knowledge was never able to be fully used or acknowledged before the floods that overtook the entire landmass at the time. Ancient Lemurians held great festivals when the sun and moon would change course or direction in the sky. They understood how to tell the changing of the seasons by looking at the sky and the plant and animal world around them, and the lunar tides foretold of many great changes that would affect things such as fishing and planting schedules. A Lemurian's long life cycle was indeed a result of careful planning and purposeful life, consisting of magical moments of gratitude, prayer, contemplation, and practices to enhance their well-being. Moonbathing was a favorite activity at the first and third quarter moon cycles. Lemurian families would gather under these waning and waxing moons to celebrate their life and that of others around them. Great merrymaking and lovemaking were practiced when the moon was at its first and third quarters. The new moon and full moon times were reserved for meditation, contemplation, prayer, and for charging and cleansing the various crystals and stones that made up much of the Lemurian landscape. The full moon was a time for the blessing of the tides, as much of the Lemurian diet was vegetables. Here we go. Lemurian diet was vegetables, fruit, and protein from fishing the oceans around the islands. The new moon was a time of festival and community. Everyone came out at the dark of the new moon and met their fellow Lemurian with greetings of love, joy, and merrymaking. To dance under the moon was quite literal, as men and women alike would shed their ethereal clothing to bask in the light of the moon rays. Charging, clearing, and setting intention into the vast amount of crystals dotting the Lemurian landscape was undertaken by all Lemurians, for they had a great love of the highly encoded crystals, many of which had been transported along with the Pleiadian star mothers who had come to Lemuria to teach the wisdom of the great wheel. So this book goes into quite a bit of, let me just, did I document the chapters? Okay, so they want me to share that there's a chapter on the beginning, what is Lemuria, Lemurian sun and moon practices, Lemurian crystals, soul recall, new earth now, the work of your soul, the way to your heart song, how to notice the signs, and divine intervention. And then there is a whole second part of the book that focuses on the different protocols. The Blue Ocean Protocol, the Green Mountain Protocol, the Fire Circle Protocol, Magical Lemurian, Telos Underground Sanctuary, and then a wrapping it up. So those few protocols that were listed are not some, those are the practices that are done over the period of like 18 to 24 months. So it's very rich in knowledge. It's not a long read. What has this book got? 40, 50 pages? 50 pages. But there's all exercises, protocols, and things in there to help you, as I say, as a workbook. So it did touch on diet in that chapter a little bit, as well as the sun and the moon, which we've already talked about, being aware of moon cycles and what's going on. So it seems very much a month of getting more back in touch with like your ancient roots, which would be living closer to the earth, noticing the patterns of the astrology that's going on and how that might pertain to you. So it might be a good month to get like a more in-depth look at your astrology chart and how the current energies. So it might be a good month to like get like a service, like a shamanic healing, some sort of reading, an astrology, kind of a deeper dive into your astrology chart and how the current energies, current astrological influences are affecting you. I wish I knew more about astrology to be able to offer that service, but I don't. I'm just kind of a novice when it comes to understanding all that stuff. But I do have card readings and shamanic healing, all sorts of services for healing and light language activation and card readings and all of that good stuff on my website, which links to that are past life regret, all sorts of stuff. I do it all except for not astrology right now because I don't know enough about it. But if you're interested in any of that as a little pick-me-up to get you started for the year, then you can check out my services. The links to that are also in the show notes. All right, so to close it out here in line with everything we've just talked about, we're going to draw from just a couple cards to add to the month of February, because what I didn't do, let me see, I don't think I have it. Oh, I do have it here. Hold on. Let me go to my photos, because I took a picture of all the cards. I just want to remember, or is it not here? I just wanted to remember the cards we had for, I know I took it with this thing. All right, well, maybe not. I wanted to remember the cards that we had for the month, but all right, I'll have to come back to that. So let's get out. This was my deck, Pleiadian Power. We're also going to use my deck, Loveland Spring Pack, and hopefully here in another couple weeks or so, Spring Fling, my newest deck, Spring Fling is going to be ready. It's a huge mammoth deck of tarot/oracle cards. It's probably about 100 cards in this deck. So I'm really excited for that. I'm almost finished uploading everything to the printer, and then it has to print, and then it'll be available then we'll do like a little showcase so you guys can see what it looks like if you're interested in that. So anything else for the month of February that we want our friends that are listening and watching to be aware of? So we just talked about heart. We got Cassie, the heart fairy. We just talked about heart openings. When you know where your heart is, when you feel the magic within, then all is right in your world. So that's the don't settle. That's just the energies I was talking about earlier when I was like, maybe I should just chuck all this to the wind and just start over. So this is like, as long as you're coming from your heart space, as long as you're not hurting anybody, as long as you're doing what you love, then the answer from Spirit is going to always be you're on the right path. All right, let's draw from the Loveland Spring deck. Both of these decks, Pleiadian Power and Loveland, all the Loveland decks are already up in my Game Crafter shop. You can take a look at those if you're interested in those. All right, we got the mind. Overthinking, here we go, and attachments are clouding your perspective. Time to clear the mental body. Meditation will bring in higher vibrations. So already, exactly what cards are just confirming what we've already been talking about. So it sounds like this is a theme for early February. And then I don't know what shifts. What is something? Hold on, let me just look at the calendar before I draw this last card. What shifts in mid-February? Something shift? Around this new moon, it looks like. Review progress. Oh, we're supposed to review our progress at the last quarter moon, which is right around Valentine's Day. So I may come back and do a mid-February update. So maybe something will shift. All right, let's get one more card from Labyrinth of Dragonshire. This is my handmade deck. Oh, it's a little wheel, and it's forward motion, card number 18 or card number 9. So things are moving forward. That's just another confirmation. Things are moving forward, even if you can't see the entire picture yet. This whole thing has just been about confirming everything. So they want me to do a little bit of light language to help clear your vibe. And earlier when I started feeling the way I did, what quickly worked for me is I can put on if I listen to Abraham and Esther Hicks, or I listen to anything from Cryon, right away my energy is immediately, my frequency is immediately lifted high. Another one who does it for me, you really do it for me. Another one who does it for me and really helps me raise my vibe high is Diana Cooper. Her meditations, there's just something about her meditations, her little short meditations are really high vibe. I think she has them on her shorts, on Instagram and on YouTube, but anything she does, there's just something about her energy that's very calming and like grandmotherly, but she's just very up there in terms of frequency and vibration, and she's another one that can shift my vibration really quickly. So those are some other tools and other way showers you can check out if you're interested. What am I doing? I'm doing light language. All right. So just to recap before I do the light language, lots of stuff for this month for you to focus on, but it's about focusing on you right now, taking care of yourself, taking a look at, maybe your waistline grew and you need to take a look at what you're eating. I'm not going to do some drastic diet plan. I'm going to do I always do anti-inflammatory foods anyway, mainly plant-based, but it's more about adjusting the quantity and just being mindful about what it is that's going on there. Like, you don't need 4 tablespoons of olive oil. You only need 1 in that pan, because I will really take the olive oil and glug, 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 glug in the pan. So it's that kind of thing. Mindfulness is very important, as is, the mind card that came out. So being mindful, staying in your heart space, keep moving forward, even if you can't see everything yet. Let's take a deep breath together. Let's get ready for this light language transmission. What are we doing here exactly? We're going high vibe. All right, we're going high vibe is what they said. So this is meant you have to be ready to release, because what they're going to come in and do first is release a bunch of stuff that you need to get rid of. So circle back to everything we've just talked about in this show. Anything that kind of triggers is the word. It's anything that came up when I was talking about, losing weight, or things not manifesting, not seeing the full picture, chucking everything to the wind and starting over, being on the wrong path. Like anything that came up like that, see that coming, remember what those things were where you were like, oh God, yeah, that's me. I feel that way. See those things as gray clouds coming kind of out in front of you, like so you can kind of see them. So you should be in a receptive mode right now, not like walking around doing stuff, because we're doing a little bit of energy healing here. I need you sitting down or lying down, whatever you prefer, and let's see those things that kind of bothered you when I was talking about them, or things that started to come up that were doubts or niggles or triggers or whatever you want to call them, coming out into your aura as like gray clouds, because the guides are going to come in and we're going to shift those through this transmission. And then what happens, because you always want to clear before you just add energy into something that it's just only going to amplify more. If you don't clear away what needs to be cleared away first, and you just come in and like blast energy at it, it's not going to help. It's going to amplify the stuff you don't want amplified. So let's just take a deep breath here. I'm going to clear. Mikro kukur kun mihi unjur kotortite hior uking ia sien o hor haha yerea ein eoroko shir uf nya a he raka ha shita a u nya a ye aruku tu tik tuk pia ai hi ha ya uroko shu. Take a deep breath. Let the dragons take those things away. That was dragon light language. And now, as the dragons remove and release anything that's not serving you, they're saying now it's time for Pleiadian power. We're going to run some light codes. Some dormant DNA needs to be woken up, it sounds like. Awakened. So get ready to be receptive. So say, I'm open to receive. Just repeat that. I'm open to receive these light codes of awakening. Take a deep breath. Just be aware of your heart space. Be aware of your crown. Another deep breath. I want me to ding this little thing. So let's go. Be aware of the love within our heart. Bring that love within your heart up through your throat, up through the middle of your head, up to the crown. And see a golden heart or golden star above your crown. I'm open to receive. We're going to run these codes now. Take a deep breath. I've still got more coming through. Elohim, light language, builder, angels. But all right. So you are fully supported when the Elohim step in. That's our geometric building angels who help work behind the scenes to help bring your manifestations down into the physical. So they're here with you. You're not alone. Stuff is being taken care of that you can't see right now. And that light language was so high frequency, my eyes can't focus. All right, friends, I hope you have a beautiful, magical month of February. use these tools of Eat Like a Lemurian to help you this month. And reach out to me if there's any services you're interested in, or any I don't know, whatever, who knows, whatever it is. All right. Thank you so much, friends, for joining me here. I want to thank you to the guides who've joined us for today's show, and we will see you all again soon. Take care.